Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the next part of evolution. That is a natural selection. Okay. First of all, what do you mean by natural selection? Natural selection is a part of evolution. There is a variation in the new species that are permanent changes in the new species on the basis of which nature select. Okay, so that is a natural selection. There was an experiment that was held in the England, and what was the experiment? It was the experiment about the collection of the moth. Okay, so there was a time period before industrialization and after industrialization. So, in the before industrialization, they observed that there was more white winged moth as compared to black melanin moth. But why? The reason behind is that due to before industrialization, pollution level was very low. Due to low pollution, there is a growth of a lichen. There is a growth of lichen, as lichen is a pollution indicator. There is a place when there is a low pollution, so there is a high growth of the lichen. So due to a white colored lichen, that is white in color, so there is a thick growth of lichen, due to which lichen is white in color, and white winged moth can can hide themselves in the white background, due to which they are not visible to the predator. But however, melanin winged moth, that's a black moth, they are easily visible due to their contrasting background. Background is white, but they are black in color. They are visible by the predator and picked out by them, so their number decrease. Okay, so that is a period of before industrialization. Now, after industrialization, so what happened was, after industrialization there is a high increase in the pollution. Due to increase in the pollution, there was less growth of lichen, as lichen is a pollution indicator. In the pollution, lichen does not grow, so there is a decrease in the white background, and due to which white winged moth become more visible, whereas black melanized become they become not visible due to white contrasting sorry black melanized become not visible. Okay, so due to which dark winged moth become more in number as compared to white moth. Okay, so what was conclusion? What was the conclusion of this experiment? There was this experiment conclusion was that who can better adapt due to better conditions, better adaptation, better survival rate, and an increase in the progeny number. Okay, so there was also saying that no variant can be completely extinct. They cannot be become completely extinct or wiped out. No, they become less in number. For example, in after industrialization, white moth winged become low in number but does not become extinct. Okay, so that was the natural selection process and the whole experiment. Now we come to the how due to human intervention there is a formation of new resistant varieties and microbes. So we use various fertilizer, pesticide, right, to decrease basically pest, to remove pest, right? So there is a due to high uses of fertilizer, pesticide, new insect varieties or old become resistant to these pesticides or fertilizer, due to which there is a formation of resistant varieties. Similarly, in the microbes, when we use high antibiotics, these microbes become resistant to these antibiotics. So, due to human intervention, there is a formation of new resistant varieties. Okay, that's why This process of evolution is also called anthropogenic, because anthropogenic means the evolution process caused due to the human intervention, human actions. Okay, that's why. And there is very features of evolution. So one of them, evolution is not a directed process. We cannot predict what is going to happen in the further evolution process. No, it cannot. It is directionless. It cannot be directed, it cannot be predicted. It is a chance event. Okay, it is a random, and it occurs due to chance event, various storms, various earthquake, various reason can lead to formation of new species. Okay, now we come to adaptive radiation. So adaptive radiation, first of all, there is a scientist called Darwin. Darwin, he went to an island, Galapagos Island. Okay, and when he went there, he was amazed by the amazing diversity. Oh, and he observed that there is a small black bird that was very diverse in number. So later on, it is called as Darwin finches. Okay, now what was his observation? So he observed that there was an original bird, that is a seed eating finches bird, small black bird that was seed eating. Okay, original, first of all, original. Okay, original. And due to various change in variation, geography, habitat, due to various conditions, they finches beak shape changes due to habitat something. So there is a formation of insect finches which feed on insect, and vegetarian finches who eat on various vegetables, right? So from the original source, there is a formation of new varieties. Okay, from regional source there is a formation of new varieties, and they are diverse in nature because they due to different habitat. Okay, so that's why this is called as adaptive radiation. Okay, now there are two type of adaptive radiation: divergent adaptive radiation and convergent adaptive radiation. So what is divergent adaptive radiation? In this adaptive radiation, there is a starting point from which an evolution occur and formation of different varieties or species, different species relating to other area habitat. Okay, so there is a starting point. What do you mean by starting point? Any ancestor or any original source, original species from which new species arise due to change in the habitat. So that is a divergent, because there is a formation of a different species from the original source. That's why it is called as divergent adaptive radiation. And there is an example of divergent adaptive radiation, that is Darwin finches or Australian marsupial. Uh, we have already discussed about the Darwin finches. Now we are going to discuss about the Australian marsupial. Australian marsupial, they have common ancestor from which various new marsupial species arise. On the same island, of Australia, there is a formation of different marsupial. Marsupials like kangaroo, who carry his young one in his pouch, right? That is a character of a kangaroo. So that are marsupial who carry young ones in their pouch. Now we come to convergent adaptive radiation. So convergent adaptive radiation. What is convergent adaptive radiation? We have already discussed about the convergent evolution. That is some similar to it, not completely. So in this, when there is a formation of more than one adaptive radiation, and when there is a more than one adaptive radiation, the similarity between two adaptive radiation, that is a convergent adaptive radiation. For example, there is a similarity between placental mammal, okay, and Australian marsupial. So in the same geography, there is a more than one adaptive radiation, and the similarity observed between them, that is a convergent adaptive radiation. Now, now we come to biological evolution. So what is this theory? Darwin proposed various theory of evolution, in which his most important point was natural selection. Natural selection is basically the main point of his theory. Okay. Now, there is a formation of new forms, but how, on which rate is dependent on new formation of species. So, new formation of species depend upon the rate of life cycle, on which rate there is a formation of new progeny. Basically, if there is a species who forms species in a less time, so their evolution process will be fast. And if there is a species who take large time to produce a new offspring or progeny, so their evolution process will be slow. So that's why new forms arise depend upon the rate of their life cycle or span. Okay, done. Now, now we are going to discuss about an example, bacteria. Bacteria form a million of their progeny within the hour. So that's why their evolution process is very fast. We have done an experiment. In this, we provided the medium on which this bacteria feed, and they feed on a common substance and they find with it eating. Now, when we change this medium to another medium, so when we change this medium of feeding, so what we observe that there is a formation of a new species with variation, and who the species in which variation was observed, they are able to survive, and who bacteria who does not get changed with the time, their number becomes slow. So that is the basic meaning of explaining that if we change with the time, our variation occur that help us to survive in that condition, then our survival rate become more higher. Okay. So bacteria multiply fast, become billion within the hours. Okay. And bee species